therapist here, and welcome to a day in the life of a home care therapist video. So actually, my workday starts the night before, where I'm calling all my patients, especially OASIS starter cares and PT evals. I'm calling the patients, giving them a 2-hour window of when I'm expected to be there. And then for my established patients, if they prefer text, I'll text them. I'll map out my day, map out my route to see where I'm driving, see how many miles I'm expected, and that way I can estimate the times. So once I schedule my patients, I then go write the list down of where I'm going, and then in my head I kind of know the area, and I can use Google Maps or MapQuest or an app on my phone and see which one's closest, which one's furthest, and kind of schedule out my day. So in home care, it actually starts the night before, where you're calling your patients like I am right now, pulling up my patient list, and again doing everything that I just talked about, getting a nice schedule so you know kind of what to expect for tomorrow. Tomorrow's actually a light day for me. What I do in home care is I front load my weeks. So I try to see probably double the amount of patients Monday and Tuesday. So that way I can have a chill Wednesday, Thursday, and sometimes off on Fridays. And yeah, I'm working a bit longer, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Sometimes I'll work that every day. However, I try to front load it. So that way, sometimes I'm only working, 10 to 12 on a Friday or not at all. And it depends on how you value your schedule. And that's one of the beauties of home care, is that you can set up your own schedule to be like that and kind of, still live your life. So stop at Publix or the grocery store, stop and get a doctor's appointment, stop, do whatever, and you can kind of build that into your schedule as well. I'm not doing that tomorrow. That's another thing you can do. If you don't have as many patients, that gets kind of hard when your patients are really far apart and you have a lot on your schedule, which is again why I say, just put in the work early in the week, and the rest of the week you can kind of chill, and then the more you do it, the better you get at it. So we'll continue this video tomorrow, where you can see me getting ready for work, what I do, everything I need, and you probably already saw that in the equipment video, and then you'll spend the day riding around with me, doing starter cares and so on. All right, so let's get to it. Welcome to the day-to-day life of a home care physical therapist. In the prior section of this video, you saw what I did the night before. So what I do, the first thing I do is actually not therapy related, is I log into my bank accounts, make sure money's where it's supposed to be, no random charges, everything's in line, because if you don't control your money, then you're gonna be stressed out the rest of the day. So I make sure that's taken care of. I also look at stocks, trends, stuff like that for day trading. That's a whole nother topic. But then what I do is I log into my tablet or my computer, make sure there's no new patients on my list. Just sometimes there are, sometimes they show up, sometimes scheduling does that to you. Usually not, but you just gotta make sure the same patients are scheduled, nobody's got taken off of your schedule due to a non-admit and so on. Make sure I have my OASIS paperwork, my mileage, all of that. And then I'm gonna head out for the day. So first thing I'm doing today is I'm going to a case conference. So case conference is similar to rounding in the hospital, where it's just interdisciplinary team care. We round on all the patients we are seeing as a company. And I have about 35 patients on my caseload right now. So I'll round on all 35 of my patients and talk to nursing, OT, and so on about those patients. So I'm headed to case conference right now. Right now I'm stuck in traffic for about 30 minutes, but that's kind of living in a big city. You're gonna deal with traffic. But case conference is still about 30 minutes to 45 minutes away. So after case conference, then I'll head out for the day and I'll give an update about case conference at the end, see if anything's changed. So just got done with case conference, basically filled out my paperwork. Once I was done discussing patients, got these starter care folders for consent forms. If you've seen my other video on scheduling patients or consent OASISes, you know those forms are about. So I have actually one OASIS today, and then I have 2 regular visits, have my case conference. As I said in the prior section of this video, it is a light day for me. So time to go see 2 regular patients and finish my day with my OASIS. So my first patient after the case conference was actually a cerebellar stroke presentation. This is a little bit different than your typical strokes, because usually, if a ischemic stroke, you get that TPA pretty much back to normal. Hemorrhagic, or you don't get TPA in time. If for ischemic, you get those flexion and extension rigid patterns. But with cerebellar strokes, it's actually a lot of dizziness, a lot of balance, a lot of coordination issues. So though they're not stuck in any patterns, they don't even look like they have a stroke, their balance is terrible, their coordination is terrible, and sometimes they do have an affected side, like a weak left lower extremity and so on, but it's more they can't control their movements and coordinations even though they want to, because of the cerebellar stroke. So with these patients, what I do a lot of, and what I just did, is a lot of balance, a lot of gait training, a lot of uneven terrain, a lot of having the eyes closed, Romberg stuff, single leg stance, and so on, and then tasks such as touching the nose with the fingers, touching the legs of certain objects, cross-leg stuff, a lot of coordination and balance, because that's what the cerebellar is responsible for. So you want to make sure in cerebellar strokes, that's what you deal with. So on to patient number 2 now. Patient number 2 lives in an ILF. An ILF is different from an ALF, and then an ILF is an independent living facility. An ALF is an assisted living facility. I go into both, but ILFs, the patients are more independent, kind of take care of themselves. They do have cooking and cleaning, where in an ALF, they're gonna have medication management, bathing, showering, memory care units, and so on. So that's kind of the difference between an ILF and an ALF. So this patient right now, it's actually his last visit before discharge. You're gonna make sure he's progressed to all goals and get him ready for his discharge visit later in the week. Then after this patient, we're gonna go and do an OASIS starter care and then end the day with that. All right. All right, so right now I'm headed out to do my OASIS starter care. The OASIS starter care is a bit different because you kind of take on the role of more of a PA or primary care physician in this sense, that you are doing a full history and physical, you're checking endocrine status, cardiovascular status, you're checking on their vaccinations, you're doing a full medication review. And people complain about this all the time, saying, oh, it's so hard, blah, 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 blah. Again, if you don't suck at it, it's gonna be easy. And the more you do it, the better you're gonna get at it, and also be open to feedback and criticism from your director of nursing and so on, so you can make sure you're doing it appropriately. But again, it's not that hard once you get the hang of it. Again, people complain about taking vitals manually during regular visits. So if you're already doing that, then yeah, maybe it's not for you, but you tend to make more money doing OASIS starter cares. So I recommend that you do that. Obviously, I'm a big proponent of you making as much money as you can. I know I break down the OASIS by section in my home health mentor course, but if you want to see another video breakdown by section on an eval, you can check that out on the YouTube channel, the free eval video. The eval is part of the OASIS as well, but it's just one part compared to, as I stated, the cardiovascular, the endocrine, the medications, the wounds, so forth. So right now I'm going to go do that. Before I do that though, I'm going to stop and get some lunch. And that's the beauty of home care, is you can kind of stop whenever, get food whenever, depending on your caseload, your schedule. I actually usually don't eat during the day. Usually I just have some coffee, then see my patients eat when I'm home, or bring some food with me. Right now I'm going to stop because I'm kind of hungry. And then I'll be home probably around 4 o'clock, have all my notes done by 4:30ish, and then head out to the gym. And you know, that's the day in the life of a home care therapist. So just finished my OASIS. Most importantly, I got all my consents signed. You know, if you don't have these consents signed, then you're not going to be able to treat the patient, put in the orders for the patient, have your PTA see the patient. So most importantly, you need these consents signed, especially if they have a power of attorney. Make sure that contact info is in there, or you have the power of attorney signed. Again, you can use a verbal authorization form if you talk to the power of attorney the day before and after contact info. But most importantly for OASIS, you get those consents signed. A lot of people ask, you know, what does a visit consist of? It's always going to consist of you taking vitals manually with your stethoscope, your blood pressure cuff, your temperature. I use a laser thermometer if you've seen in my equipment video. Then the pulse ox, O2 sat, heart rate. You can also take heart rate and respiration rate manually as well. So you're always going to do your basic vitals in each visit. Then for an OASIS starter care, as I mentioned earlier, you're doing all that shit. For an eval, you can watch the video on that on my channel. And for a regular visit, it's more of, you know, just 30 minutes or so of therapy. All right, so I'm now done for the day. What I'm gonna do now is finish up my notes, head out to the gym, come back, clean my house, and I should be done with everything by around 7 o'clock. So I really only worked, you know, 9 to 4-ish today. Still got stuff done. I can still chill and relax after 7, focus on learning more things, CEUs, leveling up my education, building my course out, making these videos, and so on. So that's a day in the life of a home care therapist. Thank you for watching. If you want more videos like this, comment below. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like this content, or if you don't like it, let me know, and I'll make content on what you guys want to see. All right, again, thank you for watching, and again, I'm Dr. Smith, physical therapist. Appreciate the support. All right.